Okay. This is the Spanish section. Where's the Uganda section and the Cameroon? And it's so amazing. Welcome. And welcome in a very UN fashion by starting late. Jayashri, you know how we are. So sorry for the delay, but I'm happy to see that you've been networking and working with each other. My name is Felipe Queipo. I'm a communications officer with the United Nations Department of Global Communications, and I'm also the co-chair of the executive board for this conference. And on behalf of the UN, although we have a Jayashri speaking on behalf of the UN, but on behalf of the UN portion of the planning process, thank you. Thank you because you have made us, all of us, feel welcome to UVU, to everyone that has participated. I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. Could everyone that has come from outside of Utah stand? Everyone that has come from outside of Utah to this conference, please stand. Could you please turn around and see how many people have joined you here? So thank you. You can stand, you can sit down. To all of you, we have many more people following us online. So we want to say hi to everyone that's following us online. So if we can just give them a round of applause for those who are following. I want to echo Baldomero's words at the opening. It is tragic, and it's a tragedy that we were not able to have everyone that wanted to be with us today. So I feel that we are privileged, that we have had an amazing conference, both virtual and in person, but we have a little thing in our hearts that they could not be with us. So to all of them, again, we dedicate this closing plenary and the conference also for those who submitted papers, who worked hard, who made the effort, but couldn't make it. So they're special, and we want them to be part of this conference. They are part of the conference. We want them to feel part of this conference. As I said, I work at the UN, and this has been a joint project that has been in the makings for a long time. Since 2020 in February, when that providential but also amazing conversation between Baldomero Lago, Dr. Lago at UVU, and Ramo Damodaran, my former deputy director. Yeah, please, Ramo. Baldomero. Wow. I mean, I've been saying the whole week, I cannot wait until this is over. This has been so much work and so many headaches and so many changes and last minutes and things that don't go the way you want. And yet, I was talking with Barb from communications here at UVU, and I was telling her, I don't think we could have dreamt of a better conference. Besides the participation of those who could not make it because of visa issues and other issues, we could not have asked for a better conference. You've made a tremendous effort to make this a unique, a first, one of its kind. And I don't think anyone going to be able to replicate something like this. And in part, it's because of the spirit of Utah. It's because of this place, how welcoming it has been, this university, this state, and the people. It's the people. I was talking with Jayashri before. This is about people. This is about all of us and those who are not with us. It's not about goals. It's not about icons. It's not about cubes and conversations. It's about that behind every goal, there's a person, there's one individual. And that motto of leave no one behind has been perfectly reflected in this conference. I am proud to be a part of this project, and I'm proud of all the work that we have done and what is to come, which is extremely exciting. So for that, again, thank you to all of you because you have been amazing. I'm not going to talk much, but I'm going to talk a little bit. And I want to go back to 1945. And those of you who know me, I use this little history often. But when the world came together in 1945, not to repeat the mistakes that had been made and had led us to a global conflict, we had specific geopolitical issues that led to the clashes between different countries and different people. And we came together because we did not want to do it again, and because we wanted to learn, at least work towards not repeating those mistakes. Move forward to 2022, and the world is a very different place. Society is not the same. We have advanced in many ways. We're still stuck in some other issues. But the UN has been able to, for the last 77 years, morph, adapt, and become more that what the people need. And it has been able to adapt because now the UN faces new challenges because there are new realities. So what before was what we talked at the panel discussion on peace, justice, and strong institutions. Peace is no longer, hey, I'm not getting shot at, I'm not bombed, so I should be thankful, right? I'm okay. Peace now means quality of life. It means that I have access to education. That no matter my gender, my sexual orientation, my religion, my background, tradition, my culture, no matter any of that, I have rights. And I have the right to be happy. I often say that my faith tradition, I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so this land is special to me and this incredible community. But my faith promises me eternal happiness. I like to talk about the work of the UN making sustainable happiness, that happiness really is available to everyone. That we work at the UN to ensure that we can provide the platform and the environment so that people can empower themselves. I don't like to talk about women empowerment. Ladies in the room, do you need any men to empower you to do anything? Okay. What we need to do is eliminate the obstacles that are in the way so that women can find their own power, so they can empower themselves, so that any minority, any community can empower themselves. We're talking about empowerment in the real sense, because it's within us. The work of the United Nations is to create that environment, to facilitate that environment so that every single one of us, every single one of you, we together, working together, SDG 17 again, we can make a difference if we allow ourselves to really thrive, become the very best version of ourselves, and then help our neighbors. And my neighbors are as far as Uganda and Cameroon and Kenya and Spain and different places. And Utah from New York. We are all a big neighborhood. That's what the UN tries to share. We are all a big neighborhood and we are all together working on this. This conference has been unique because we have approached it in a very different and unique way. Academia has shown us that we can put in our brains together, come up with solutions that are amazing. Civil society will tell us, hey, we need to work on those issues and we need to work together. With whom? With the private sector, with media outlets, with youth, and with every other sector in society. It is only by working together through partnerships, but also by putting our minds into it, that we can do and accomplish great things. We have seen that through history, and we have seen this during these 3 days. How amazing it is what we have been able to accomplish, that we may have different opinions and approaches in specific fields of work, but we have one thing in common. We want the best for this planet, for ourselves and our neighbors, and for the future. And youth, you have been a tremendous part of this. I want to acknowledge that without youth participation, this conference would not have been what it has been and continues to be. We'll have a youth speaker also. And the inclusion of the papers and the participation of the students and all the work that you have put has shown that there's hope. I'm 41, I'm still very young, I think. But even at 41, I have to acknowledge that I'm not that young and I'm no longer that part of a section of you. The UN says in my office, 32 and under. And I feel very discriminated against. Very much so. And I'm not happy with that, but still, the UN says, so I just follow, right? But I consider myself young at heart. All of us are young, but seriously, young people, you are tremendous because your drive, your energy, your questions, your indecisions, you made this fun and interesting. So for that, I want to thank you because, again, without you, this conference was, Baldomero can say in his remarks, but we envisioned this to be a youth engagement opportunity, and I think that we have accomplished this. What do you think? Have we done this right? Okay. Okay, so this is the closing, okay? This is the beginning of the end. This is the time everyone is like, okay, after this, what's gonna happen? And well, we have things to announce and we have a good program ahead of us and I'll stop talking soon. But we want to do just with you and to say thank you. It's been a journey. For some of us, 2 years long. For some of you, a few days, few weeks, few years also. I have to acknowledge the presence of people from all over the world. I mean, we have, again, we have Cameroon, we have Uganda, we have Benin, we have Utah, of course. We have Lehigh University, right? I promised I would give them a shout out, so Lehigh. And Westminster University from the UK, Sahar, yeah, there you are. And I've been working with them for a long time, so it's fantastic. From the Philippines, of course, and from Spain. I mean, sorry for that. And Colombia. I mean, how about the fashion show and Greece? So many countries, all 193, some of good. Nigeria, good. India, perfect. So Somalia. So you see, I don't think we have the time for everyone, but to everyone, see, I think that this is a pretty cool mini UN. What do you think, Jayashri? It's a good representation of us. So thank you, because you bring humanity to this conversation, and because humanity together can do amazing things. So for all of that, for all the work you put, for all the challenges that we have faced, and for all the collaborations, I think that we can really say that we will be able to accomplish the SDGs by 2030. If I did not believe that, I would not be working for the United Nations. I would be working somewhere else. And I think that really we can do it. I am an optimist. People say, oh, well, the pandemic's a hiccup. Just happened. Okay, we're overcoming it. But unless we put our minds to doing it, unless we really believe in it, why even try then? If we really think that we're going to fail, why try? All of you, every single one of you is a perfect explanation of why we keep fighting, for why it matters. Because we all matter. And because those that we love, they matter. And because if we do it together, things will change and things will become better. So for all of that, I want to thank you. And on behalf of the portion of the conference executive board that I represent, and on behalf of the executive board, which has done a fantastic job, and all the team, and the UVU team, by the way, of global engagement, was there amazing. I mean, and all the technicians, and all the cleaning people, and people who have supported this conference in all the different ways, thank you, because you have made a little bit of history today, a little bit better, and a brighter future for some people. So for that, again, thank you, and good for you. So now I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to tell you what the program will look like, okay? So the next speaker is Dwayne Vaught. He is the Provost and Senior Academic Vice President for UVU. Thank you for hosting us, and thank you for everything that has been done. And, well, what can we say? Everyone is in love with UVU now. Even Juan Pablo Socarrás said, I want to study here. Famous Colombian designer, so hey, who knows? Following Dwayne, we'll have Jayashri Wyatt. She is the chief of the Education Outreach section in the United Nations Department of Global Communications. And she is a fantastic colleague and someone I really enjoy working with. So she's not my boss, so I'm not just like saying We will have then a performance by Melissa Heath, and I want to read what it is, because I was given it, is Where the Music Comes From by Lee Holby, and is a soprano, Melissa Heath, Associate Professor of UVU, and Katrina McNevin at the piano, and is a music education major at UVU also. So that will follow Jayashri. Then we'll have remarks by Priyanka Prem Kumar, a youth representative. We will have then the closing remarks by Dr. Baldomero Lago, Chief International Officer at Utah Valley University and Executive Committee of the Conference Executive Board Chair. And then he will introduce the next one, which is one of the surprises that we have and one of the announcements that we will have. But again, thanks a million for being here. Thank you for joining us for this closing ceremony. It is a semi-full house. I like to see the glass half full, so I'll see the auditorium half full. So thank you so much. Dr. Vaughn.
And I will be most brief. Just wanted to take a moment to tell you how wonderful we felt it was an opportunity to have you here in Utah and at Utah Valley University. Our tagline at UVU is "Come as you are." And it's just such a wonderful experience to see so many different people, so many people excited about the issues that we would be talking about, and those obviously who are not here with us online. It's really been a pleasure for us to be host to you to this event, and we hope that we have been good hosts for you and that you've had a really wonderful time. Some of the questions that were asked about people who have been who are coming from out of Utah. Is this your first time ever to Utah, if you would stand? or raise your hand. Oh, wow, okay. And for those who want to come back to Utah again. Very good. I've only been here 3 years myself. I lived in Kansas City for 21 years before moving to Utah to take on this role as Senior Vice President and Provost. And it's just been a real pleasure to work at this institution, to be able to work with the types of students that we have had at UVU. And certainly I hope you've had an opportunity to at least try to absorb some of the natural beauty of the area. It really is in many ways inspiring in so many ways, and kind of reflects in part what the conference was about. Why does it matter when you can look around and see such natural resources, and the goal that we know that we need to always preserve and protect them. Again, I am the provost. More importantly, I'm a professor, and more importantly than that, I think I'm a philosophy professor. So when Baldomero was talking to me about this and planning the event, and came and said, we're going to have this conference, it's going to be, why does it matter? And I was like, this is wonderful. Philosophers have been asking this question for thousands of years. And so in a 3-day conference, we're going to come up with the answers to why it matters. And I suspect that you haven't come up with all of the answers. Hopefully you've come up with some good answers. But one of the things that I've learned, and one of the frustrations that some people sometimes have with philosophers, is that we're more concerned with the questions than we are with the answers. And figuring out the good answers means you got to ask the right questions, and ask why those questions are important, and how the answers to those questions are going to move you to more questions that you will ultimately ask. And so if anything from the conference, why it matters, you have that question, but you probably have a lot more questions. And if we continue that cycle, I think we'll make a lot of progress. And hopefully this conference, the first of its kind for the UN, will be a spark that moves us in that direction. So again, this university has been proud to play host to the event. Hope that you've had a wonderful experience. And again, hope you come back to Utah sometime soon. Thank you so much.
Well, good afternoon. I can hardly believe that the conference is now closing, and it's a little bit bittersweet, because when you convene for a time with a certain group of people and you are engaging in deep conversation and dialogue and connecting on a powerful level, it's also hard to say goodbye. So I'm just taking a moment to really enjoy all of the connections and all of the memories that I think that we're making here. And most especially, I think the action that we'll be able to take from this conference as we all move forward in the work that we continue to do, so that we can realize these really noble and lofty sustainable development goals. So it's my pleasure and really my privilege to say thank you and to offer gratitude from the United Nations, from our Undersecretary General, Melissa Fleming, who's the Undersecretary General for Global Communications. We really can't say enough good things about Utah Valley University and the way that they have embraced not only the Sustainable Development Goals and the values that are at the core of the SDGs, but also the extraordinary hospitality and warmth with which we have all been embraced at this conference together. You have held this space and this place in being so that we can all come together and share and have open dialogue and share knowledge. And this is really the power of an academic institution, and it's really the power of education, because to be educated and to be in dialogue with others is to be transformed. And that is what we're trying to do through the Sustainable Development Goals, is transform the world and keeping people and our shared humanity and our planet and all living beings at the heart and at the center of that. So I want to just circle back to what the president of this university said at the very beginning, which was that hope is really the driving force for all of the work that we're doing on the Sustainable Development Goals. And it really is the antidote to despair when we consider so many of the challenges that we face globally. And I think what drives hope, of course, is taking action. And I feel like in every conversation I've had and in all of the connections that I have been privileged to make here, the thing that I walk away with from this conference is a very strong sense of hope, because I see all of the work that is being done to make the Sustainable Development Goals a reality. So thank you very much to the university for hosting us. And I would be remiss if I didn't say a really big thank you to the executive board who worked very hard on this conference, and especially to the scholars who presented and wrote papers. The work that you're doing in research and data and analysis, it drives the kind of action that we can take forward. That scholarly endeavor is the way that we know what to do as we take action. And I have to thank Baldomero, Lago, because I know how much work you have done. And I want to thank each and every member of your team, because I know how many hours you put into this, and it was a labor of love and such a successful outcome. So thank you to Baldomero and his team. I want to thank the Associate Director on Baldomero's team, Carlos, the Program Director of Global Events, Amy, the Global Administrator, Veronica. I want to thank the 2 student employees, Haley and Lena, as well, because it takes a team. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Buenos tardes, señores y señoritas. That's my right. My name is Priyanka Prem Kumar. I am from India, and I have done my master's in engineering, and by profession, I'm a researcher and a data analyst. Today, here, I'm in front of you to speak to you as a youth representative speaker and why conferences like these matters to the youth. Swami Vivekananda, who is well known for his groundbreaking speech at the 1893 World's Parliament of Religions, said that youth is the foundation of the country, and they are great asset to any nation as they are full of energy, enthusiasm, and innovative ideas. We, the youth, can play an important role in the implementation, monitoring, and reviewing of the 2030 agenda and holding the government responsible. About 2.2 billion of the global youth reside in the Asia and the Pacific itself. So, we young people have the ability to connect with more marginalized people in our community, and we are much more open and would like to be engaged in what is called as adaptive programming. We don't just want to be peer educators, but also highly effective advisors. I would like to share why I feel leave no one behind is important to me. Every month, millions of adolescent girls around the world face a miserable cycle of pain, discomfort, shame, anxiety, and isolation when their menstrual period arrives. I have seen some remote places where there is no appropriate and hygienic infrastructure, including waste disposal mechanisms, soap and water for washing, and safe, private, accessible toilets, which is rarely available. It is still a taboo topic in many countries where cultural beliefs and social norms restrict the participation of women and girls in the society during menstruation. Menstruation is directly linked to a number of SDGs, including but not limited to goal number 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, and 12. In many countries, due to the lack of bathrooms in remote areas, the girls who had reached the puberty had to miss classes for 5 or more days. That means every pubescent girl missed almost a month and a half of school every year. Menstrual health and hygiene amongst women is important and need of the hour in many countries. Being a master in engineering, I hope that lack of awareness around periods does not become a barrier to the education of these girls, and that is why it matters to me. Educational institutions are particularly important in contributing towards the SDGs, as they will educate the next generation of decision makers who will help to create a critical impact on the future of the planet. In the recent event of Transforming Education Summit, Priyanka Chopra had said that education can be transformed with foundational learning, and I stand by that. The ability to read with understanding, do basic math, and have socio-economic skill is the basis for a person to realize the full potential for life and contribute to the sustainable development of the society. I am thankful that Utah Valley University and you to these wonderful people. My interaction with the panelists from the refugee program, Donna Ibrahim from Somalia, and from the thematic session SDG 2, Beyond Sabimana, was fruitful, and we connected on some deep topics that touched us deeply. I am lucky to interact with some fantastic humans and some great delegates like Ramu Damodaran and Jayashri Wyatt, Felipe Queipo, and Suzanne Mosquera, and back-to-back Abrasive, Saul Leal, FM Sadak, and Me Young, and many more. This was very inspirational to me. Carlos, one of the organizers, made us feel like family, and I'm thanking him from the bottom of my heart. I made some new friends back from India, from Peru, and Lauren from University of California. I met her during the service program for refugee kids. Kevin and Tristan from UVU as well. I love the student interaction during my presentation of my paper, and they were very supportive for a nervous speaker like me. I think Felipe and Dr. Lago will agree with that. During my tour around the campus, the students here were very helpful and were super kind. Wolverines, you rock. I would like to end my speech by restating one of the statements which many of the thematic session panelists have said. People, and youth especially, have the capacity to make the difference. And that change starts with us here today. Thank you so much. Have a great life. Gracias. Namaste.
Well, I guess my message is going to be very short because somebody took away my notes. If someone, maybe or somebody that used paper, maybe took my notes away, but you can just review those. That would be very grateful. If not, that's okay. I can sing and dance. No, you folks don't want me to sing and dance. Folks, it has been a great, great opportunity to be here. We found the thief. Thank you, Jayashri. It's been wonderful. Well, this is it. I can't believe you're still here. It has been 3 long days of work, a lot of work, and excitement. And I think it is that excitement that carry on and that has been carrying on, and it's carrying me on to be able to do the things that we have been able to do. Thank you very much, Dr. Vaught, for your message, for the support that the institution has provided. Without your support and those around you, and even the support of the president, there's no way we could have done this conference here. So thank you very much. I want you to understand something. We gather here ourselves to discuss the question why it matters. And I think, yes, we have barely scraped the tip of the iceberg. And one of the things that I've been thinking about it even today is that we are in the year 2022. The Sustainable Development Goals came into place in 2015. So there's been 7 years that they have been promoting, and this is the first international academic conference on the Sustainable Development Goals. We still have 8 more years. Folks, we have a lot to do. We have a lot to do because the deadline is coming soon, and we need to continue to have these conversations. And I am grateful that it was this institution, it was this house, and in collaboration with my partners at the Department of Global Communication, that we broke the ice and say, it is time to get the academics and the academia and all the higher learning possibilities to come and join and deliberate on why it matters to find some of those solutions that literally will make a better place. And yes, it is with hope that we need to continue to carry on. And it is also the opportunity that we need to have a voice, to have a conversation, to talk about these goals in whatever venue and wherever we are. And if you don't do it, no one else is going to do it. So let's start from within you, within your circles, and within your own institutions. I believe that is critical. And the reason being is because in academia, we have the resources, we have the knowledge, we have the partnerships, we have the students that have this wonderful initiative within themselves to do research and to carry on. And yes, we need more voices, more young voices, and I'm so grateful for all the youth that actually has come to this conference. Just a couple things, a couple facts. I think that you may want to listen to these numbers that I'm going to be sharing with you today. Believe it or not, we had more than 1,600 individuals that registered for this conference, more than 1,000 individuals that actually attended, and that's not counting all those classes that came to some of the thematic sessions. Okay? We have Mr. Provost, now you know that there is interest even within this institution. We have over 100 academic presentations being presented on this campus on the topic of the 2030 Global Agenda. We had 13 amazing thematic sessions. Amazing. I hope you agree with me, with 52 panelists. And in fact, I have done my best to attend, as many as possible. And I was just sitting just from the audience, and I kept looking at some of the moderators. Boy, those people are high caliber. And I thought, I'm so glad I'm sitting there. If they ask me a question, I'll probably be freaking out. So yeah, thank you very much for your wisdom, for your scholarly experience. I think that has been remarkable. We have had side events. Besides of all this academic stuff, we have had some fun through side events, as you know. We had, even this morning, a wonderful presentation, a cultural piece through art that was beautifully done. We had a lovely interfaith dialogue with some experts in the field that discuss how can we work better expressing and looking at different areas. Sorry, I just got a little nervous because my president is here. Thank you, President, for joining us. It's like, oh my word, the president is here. We have had a wonderful discussion led by Mr. Franz Kolb on sustainable development. I think that's something very remarkable. We invited an engineering firm that they deal with water and mining on sustainability. I think that the framework and their remarks were beautiful. Thank you to the University of Westminster and London for your presentation on sustainable universities. I wish all universities could follow your wonderful program that you have there in the UK. Folks, yesterday we rolled up our sleeves. We went to the Grand Ballroom. Many of you came. It was just a packed house, and we assembled those kits for those newborn babies. What a grateful opportunity. I mean, this is pragmatic. This is the work that has to be done. And even I know that President Jimenez, with her incredible busy schedule, she decided to come by. And she said, I'm just going to start making bags. I'm just going to do this. And her assistant, like, well, President, we only have 15 minutes, but okay, right, just get going. And she kept going and she kept going. That was great. Thank you very much for your example, President, and for all of you that actually made so many, close over 1,600 kits. 1,600 kits were assembled yesterday. That was fantastic. Thanks to all of you. Thanks to all of you. Last night in this venue, we had the most incredible, beautiful fashion show. Thank you so much for the designers that came from Colombia and Spain, and the models and all the work that was done. It was fantastic on how even the fashion can present some items of sustainability. I thought it was fantastic. By the way, just a reminder to our youth that are visiting from abroad that we have a beautiful social that is being organized by the Utah Valley University Student Council. So meet at 6:30 and by the Reflection Center, and they will take you to a place. And it's just going to be more a social gathering, get to know each other, and they'll going to provide you some food for dinner. So that will be great. You know what, just a couple things, some important items that I would like to share with you. I know that we have had some challenges with the thematic sessions because they were also at the same time. But, and I wanted to be in both places. Today was so difficult because my best friends, Íñigo and Ramu, they were moderating and said, I want to be at both of them, but it's impossible to be in two places at once. Folks, the great news is that all those sessions are recorded, and you will be able to watch them. In fact, last night I was watching a beautiful session. I couldn't sleep, so I just turned on the phone and watched one of the thematic sessions so that you can actually capture those. And they have been, and they will be online, and I think most of them are already online. Folks, also another housekeeping item that I need to share with you. Those of you that have presented at the thematic sessions, or even moderating, you will be receiving a certificate for doing so, especially faculty that need for tenure and review and all those information. The same with any individual that has presented an oral or a paper presentation. You will also be receiving a certificate from the organization in regards to this, and it will have the stamp of the United Nations as well. The publications will be posted online next week, so you'll be able to see your full. They're done, they're formatted, they're ready to go. And I'm just grateful that the amount of work that has taken to come up with the 77 articles, but they will be there. So thank you very much. During these days, much has been shared, much has been learned, much has been spoken. And I just want to know that we have tried to make a difference. And personally, I'm really delighted and for the great tone of scholarly that has been presented here at this university. Well, folks, now this is the time for me to give thanks. Thanks to all of you for being here, for taking the time out of your busy schedules, for traveling hours and hours and hours to come over here. And I just want to, if I may, boss, you tell me about time, but if I may, I want to share a couple anecdotes. Would you mind if I share those stories? Okay. During the summer, I had to go and visit my mother, and I was coming back from, she lives in Spain, and I was coming back, and I asked my dear colleague, Haley, hey, can you give me some articles, especially the ones on SDG 4 in education? I want to review them, and make sure you give them to me without a name, blind copy. So I just want to get a feel for and maybe present some input so I can support the review committee. And so she did. So I was in the airplane, and I opened up my laptop, and I was just reading some, and I just came across this beautiful, beautiful paper, and it really touched me. I almost came out with tears, and I thought, this is so beautifully written and right to the hardcore of education. Of course, by that time, I landed in New York, and I thought, oh my goodness, who is that author? Who wrote this piece of paper? Because I really want to get to know this individual. Then I came home, and I was able to identify who that individual was. And lo and behold, this individual was from Africa. And at that time, we were having a lot of problems with getting visas. 52 scholars could not come to this conference because of visas. Nothing else, because of visas. Fiso, are you here? From Benin? He was the author of that piece of literature. I appreciate you, Fiso, for making the effort to come all the way from Benin to teach me about education. Thank you, my friend. I want you to meet Fiso. Thanks. Another story. Boy, dealing with the consulates abroad is not, and I know a little bit because I've been in the consular corps for 22 years, but it has been difficult. After months of negotiating even with the Senator's office, Senator Mike Lee and Mitt Romney, and I know folks at the Department of State and the Director of the Office of Foreign Missions, and connecting with them, try to have a voice with these consulates, and especially with the consulate of Uganda and Cameroon and Mali and Nigeria, and the story goes on. There are 11 countries that I had to deal with. It came across, and some of the students were able to make it, some other ones did not. Today's Friday. Monday, I received an email from the consular officer at the consulate in Uganda. And this individual said to me, I just want to validate this individual. Is this person really planning to attend your conference? Could you please confirm? And you know what? I tend to be nice, I tend to be diplomatic, but I was not too diplomatic at that time because I was so frustrated with some of these folks that I say, for 2 months I've been sending information. I have sent letters from our institution. The United Nations have sent letters. This person is a scholar and I need her to present at this conference. Right? Within a few hours, the consulate contacted this individual and told her, you got a visa. That individual called me in the middle of the night and said, I have a visa. And I don't answer the phone in the middle of the night, but I did answer this time. I have a visa and I am on my way to the airport. I'm going, no matter what, I'm going to this conference. Justine, where are you? Justine Aboulier? Justine, is she right there? We need more people like you, Justine. Thank you. Boy, when I met her here in Salt Lake, I just give her the biggest hug and said, thank you for making it. And today, this morning, she was able to present her research, and here she is, enjoying the conference. Thank you. Well, just two stories. I want to give thanks to the executive board, and folks, I don't know if I'm really going to miss those monthly meetings at 7 o'clock in the morning. So folks from India and Japan and, from everywhere, Europe, they would be able to join the call. So, but I'm going to miss you guys, believe me, even at 7 in the morning. But I want to thank my staff, Amy Barnett, Lena, Haley, Carlos, Veronica. Thank you very much. The amount of hours that these people have put into this conference is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. We had a very small budget. We have done wonders with the pennies that we have had to be able to run this conference. And when we look about, okay, what kind of decorations we're going to do, we saw these boxes and we thought, hey, let's buy them. We look at the prices and I don't think we're going to buy them. And of course, Amy came along and said, we're going to make them. Handmade, from scratch. Bought some card boxes, printed some things, glued them together, and here they are. And she had to make for this auditorium as well as SC206, so there were a lot of boxes. And I would go to the office, and Amy kept saying to me, guess what we're doing? We're making more boxes, more boxes, more boxes. I thought, okay, well, they're the best. What a great team, what a great team we have. I want to express my sincere gratitude to Broadcasting Services. What a team we have here at UVU for your patience. That's been incredible. The amount of last-minute changes that we had to do for this conference, right? And I want to thank all the UVU teachers. Without them, this conference would have not been possible. The support that I received from the faculty to welcome all the scholars into their classrooms, to interact, the experience has been so wonderful. And the youth from this conference interacted with the youth at UVU. And I received so many emails from many faculties. Thank you for allowing me to do this. And what we try to do is align. If you were talking about biology, let's put you in a biology class. We're talking about humanities, let's put you in humanities, peace and justice. We do have a peace and justice program, so we attempt to align. I did not want you to travel from Africa, from Europe, from Belgium, from all these places to find an empty classroom. I wanted to make sure that you had an audience so they can talk to you and they can listen to you. And I'm grateful to the faculty of this university that have been able to do this. I also want to thank my colleagues at the UN. Thank you, Jayashri and Felipe and everyone else on the team there for the great work, as well as the UVU administration, the president, and everyone that has been able to support us. Well, folks, we're almost to an end here. I just want you to know that I haven't seen my wife for many weeks. Looking forward. Thank you. And now, folks, I want to give some time to my dear Executive Board member, Dr. Íñigo Arbiol Oñate, and he has a message for all of us. Thank you to you all, and thank you to all. Íñigo.
There we go. You're going to make us all cry. Okay. So there we go. Unexpected message, right? Okay. First of all, thanks. Thank you to Utah University, Provost, President, right? To UN people and all the institutions that made it possible. To my colleagues in the Executive Board. Yeah, you're going to miss those meetings at 7 a.m. in the morning, which were 5 in the afternoon, right? Me running to the kids' bus, right? The kid coming across Zoom session, right? Yeah, we're going to miss those. We should actually continue with those, right? To the ones who are not here, Mark, Yongquan, right? And others. And the ones who are here, Elsie. Where are you, Elsie? Okay. Elsie, Ramu, over there. Susanna, right? Jayashri, right? So, thanks to all of you. I learned a lot from your knowledge and your experience, right? And of course, to Baldomero and Felipe, who have been a P and the A, but have made this possible, right? This is all yours. I think there are two words that define you. You're brilliant and you're generous, right? So look at what you've done. You've all the work very hard ended up creating this amazing thing. It's an amazing result. So let me just for a second tell you, right, what happened here. We not just a talk or organized in a conference on sustainable development goals. We knew about the SDGs, right? I guess many people didn't know that much about them. I know it's 8 years, but still, right? Almost 8 years, but still. We understood them, right? Many people know about them, but don't really understand them, right? So you contributed a lot. And we figure out ways of working for them, which is probably the pending issue, right? Stop talking about them and keep moving forward. So, as well, the Provost, I didn't know Provost was a philosopher. More questions, few answers, but that's what philosophers do, right? That's what philosophy is about, right? But we came with a few answers too, right? I think we all share that SDGs are universal language, and we all kind of agree on that. It's an agenda, but it's an agenda of agendas, right? Lots of things you can fit in. It was born bottom up, right? With global, but also horizontal and vertical nature. But I think it's something that looking towards the future has to be co-created. And that's something that was very clear throughout these 3 days here. Also multi-level, right? Nobody can work alone at a national level or at a multilateral level or at a local level or regional level, right? We've got to work together. It's also multi-stakeholders. Look at the audience, right? This is not just a group of very similar people. This is what it has to be. Multi-stakeholders watching and participating in creating multifaceted action, right? How is that possible? By combining what we have been talking about these days, public actors, public sector, the private sector. Recently we talked about that. The civil society, and of course, the academia, right? And basically all of them working to put the people in the middle, which is what it's about, right? So let me tell you what, particularly Baldomero, let me tell you what has happened here, right? You've done an incredible job, but what you have opened is the first academic debate in the entire world. That's what you have done. You have fulfilled our mission. The mission of the university is to do three things. It's to teach people, right, to advance knowledge by research and to transfer it to society, to improve it. That's what it is. Doesn't matter what university you come from, which part of the world, right? That's exactly what this conference has contributed to. So I promised to finish, right? When, professors are programmed to talk for 50 minutes, right? And that's what we do, right? All the time, right? It's just complicated to take a zero out. So the Agenda 2030, it's an indispensable, for me, an indispensable and dynamic set of challenges. And that's the reason why, from the University of Deusto that I represent, we want to take the baton of Utah Valley University. And on behalf of the University of Deusto, I would like to officially announce that we will be hosting the second International Conference on the Sustainable Development Goals next year. I finished by making a promise. I still don't really know how, right? But I want to clearly compromise to two things, right? First, to bring all the ideas, discussions, the challenges we identified that you all shared, that you all brought, you put in the table to move forward together. That's my first compromise. The second, to include as many of you as possible in the construction of this second conference, right? This has to be, we have to be move forward, but taking into account what we have constructed here, right? So, finally, you're all invited, right, to join us at the University of Deusto in the city of Bilbao, in the Basque Country next year. So you will be very welcome. Thank you very much. And now it's my pleasure to introduce Unai Tellería, who is the representative of the Basque government in the United States. Thank you.
Arratsaldeon, good afternoon. As Íñigo said, my name is Unai Tellería. I'm the delegate of the Basque Country to the United States. And today I would like to emphasize two main ideas regarding the 2030 agenda. It's time to move from words to actions. And thank you. And second, to do so, it is necessary to create infrastructures that commit us to the implementation of the SDGs in our public policies. Based on our experience in the Basque Country, I would like to talk or share about 5 infrastructures that help us make the 2030 agenda a reality. First infrastructure would be the steering and coordination body, establishing a steering body with the capacity for cross-cutting coordination of government action on the 2030 agenda. In our case, the Basque government created the General Secretariat for Social Transition and the 2030 agenda in the Office of the Presidency. Second infrastructure, a strategic planning document for the term of office, a 4-year roadmap defining principles, criteria, objectives, timetable, and action plan. The Basque government relies on the Basque 2030 Agenda Priorities Program. It is essential to establish strategic priorities, key commitments, and flagship projects aligned with the SDGs. Third infrastructure, a system of indicators for monitoring and evaluation. This system requires at least 2 basic references. 1, a panel of indicators for monitoring and compliance with the SDGs adapted to the local reality and aligned with the UN system. And 2, the discipline of preparing annual voluntary local reviews, as Íñigo said. Since 2017, the Basque government has produced 5 reports that have been submitted to the United Nations. This dual commitment involves all areas and departments of the Basque government in its preparation. It allows evaluating the work carried out and identifying areas of improvement. Fourth infrastructure, multi-level governance forum. The government cannot develop the momentum of the 2030 agenda by its own. It is essential to create a co-governance structure that makes it possible to involve other institutional levels and economic and social agents. In the Basque country, we have set up a multi-stakeholder forum for social transition and 2030 agenda, which is chaired by the Lehendakari, the Basque president. The following also form part of this body: all the ministers of the Basque government, the 3 provincial councils, the representation of the town councils, the Basque universities, the entities of the third sector in the Basque country, representatives of the public-private collaboration of different sectorial clusters. And the 5th infrastructure I would like to talk about are the awareness and social outreach programs. It is necessary to have specific programs aimed at informing society of significance of the SDGs and their importance. We seek to contribute to a social contract for the 2030 agenda. For this purpose, we developed outreach training, social participation, and subsidy programs. Also, we are immersed in the process of creating a postgraduate degree specialized in the 2030 agenda in collaboration with the 3 Basque universities. Along the same lines, we promote guides for the implementation of the agenda in all types of social and business entities, in addition to the preparation of sustainable reports throughout all organizational areas. I share these 5 references, which in our case are proving to be very useful. So as I said, 1, a steering and coordination body. 2, a strategic planning document. 3, an evaluation system. 4, a multi-level governance forum. And 5, awareness and outreach programs. I would like to end my intervention with a final thought. The 2030 agenda runs a risk, getting lost in a labyrinth of abstract concepts. From the Basque government, we advocate the methodology of concrete. In the face of abstractions, commitment to concreteness. We must be self-critical and not complacent. We are not moving fast enough. The pandemic and the invasion of Ukraine have aggravated the issues and increased the urgency of solutions in terms of sustainable human development. We need greater proactivity in concrete and transformative ways. I call for a more representative and meaningful participation of subnational governments and other entities. This is necessary to improve the overall balance of compliance and development of sustainable development goals. The decision of the United Nations to locate the local 2030 Secretariat in the Basque Country, Bilbao, for which we are very grateful, is a major milestone in this regard. We will multiply our efforts to make it happen. And now it's my pleasure to introduce a message from the Lehendakari, the President of the Basque Country. Eskerrik asko, thank you very much.
Kaixo, un saludo desde Euskadi Basque Country. Soy Lehendakari, presidente del Gobierno vasco. Aquí, en Europa, vivimos también un tiempo de crisis e incertidumbre. Crecen las dificultades y necesidades sociales. No resulta sencillo alcanzar consensos para responder a los grandes desafíos de la humanidad. La Agenda 2030 adquiere todo su sentido como necesidad y oportunidad. Compartimos una misma agenda global y local para promover un desarrollo humano sostenible e inclusivo. Lucha frente a la pobreza, igualdad de género, educación, cambio climático, cuidado del planeta, crecimiento económico inclusivo, ciudades y comunidades sostenibles, justicia, paz, son desafíos que debemos abordar de forma conjunta. En lengua vasca lo denominamos auzolana, colaboración en pos del bien común. En este camino, el cumplimiento de la Agenda 2030 por parte de los gobiernos estatales no está alcanzando los resultados esperados. Coincido con Naciones Unidas. El compromiso de los gobiernos regionales y municipales es estratégico para hacer realidad el llamamiento a la década de la acción. Nuestros gobiernos debemos asumir un papel más destacado en la gobernanza global de los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible. En este sentido, me complace comunicarles que Euskadi Basque Country acogerá la sede permanente del Secretariado de la Coalición Local 2030 de Naciones Unidas. Nos ayudará a localizar internacionalmente los Objetivos de Desarrollo Sostenible, a reforzar el papel de todos los gobiernos e instituciones, a promover la colaboración público-social y público-privada. Necesitamos foros en los que compartir buenas prácticas y rescatar la reflexión académica para avanzar en la transferencia científica y social. Felicito a la Universidad de Utah Valley, a su vicerrector Baldomero Lago y a Naciones Unidas por el resultado de esta primera conferencia académica internacional. Hemos ofrecido Euskadi Basque Country para acoger la segunda edición de esta conferencia. Reciban nuestra invitación a participar en la misma. Serán bienvenidos y bienvenidas. Ongi etorriak izango zarete. Eskerrik asko, muchas gracias.
So, that for which I have been hoping that it would arrive, I don't want it to happen now. But it is time. So before I say the magic words, I want to leave you with homework. I want to leave you with an assignment, and is go out and build the world that we want, because we can do it. So now, on the 7th of October of 2022 at 4:20 p.m., I officially declare the conference closed. Congratulations. And of course, I forgot that we have a musical performance, a dance performance. I'm eager to finish this, people. But we have a last treat, which is amazing. I know, I don't want to go, that's mixed feelings. But we have the Utah Valley University Cultural Envoy doing a dance performance for us, so that we end on a very nice note.
Hello. Hey. Hey everyone, my name is Diana Romero. I'm from Lima, Peru, and I'm part of the Latinx section of the UVU Culture Envoy Leadership Program. This program means a lot to me because it has helped me to actually follow the initiative by UVU and President Jimenez of Come As You Are. Culture Envoy help us as students to share through dance and through music our cultures. Like as I mentioned, I'm from Peru, and tonight with the Latinx section, we're going to perform a dance from my country, which is called Festejo. Festejo means festive, and in this dance, you're gonna see us smiling and celebrating the representation of the liberty from slavery that happened in the 17th century in Peru. We are so excited to perform for you guys, and I hope that you all enjoy it, and que viva el Perú!
Hi, everybody. My name is Kayla Torres, and I am a part of the Native American section here at UVU's Cultural Envoy Student Leadership Program. I just want to give a quick word to UVU's president, and their famous words here at UVU, "Come as you are." These words speak to me throughout my dance that I will perform to you today, called Fancy Shaw. Fancy Shaw is performed at powwows. Powwows are extremely important to us Indigenous people as they bring us together in song and dance so that we can embrace and embody one another's cultures. Fancy Shaw is the dance of the butterfly. Just as every butterfly is created uniquely, thus every performance of Fancy Shaw is unique. This message is important to me throughout my education here at UVU, because through the expression and acceptance of each other's differences, we can learn to create a more connected and intelligent community. So with these words, please enjoy my performance of Fancy Shaw, the Butterfly Dance.
It'll turn on by itself.
Hey, good evening, everybody. My name is Emmanuel Omaria. I'm from Uganda. That's my flag right there. I'm the section leader for the African Diaspora section of Cultural Envoy, and the dance we're doing today is from Uganda, actually. So we do so many dances from all over the diaspora and all over the continent of Africa. But today we're doing one from Uganda, and I feel happy because we express ourselves through dancing in this program, and we learn a lot about the different cultures that we, perform and represent. Thank you. Enjoy. Feel free to cheer.
I'm back. You're free to go. We're done. Thank you.